Hi everybody, so I've been seeing a lot of videos recently about drawing people's lives, and as I've also signed up for Blog Every Day in February, which actually there should be the word in between day and Feb, whoops, sorry, I thought I would incorporate them both, so I've done Draw My Life. And also for the record, I don't spell my name with an I just couldn't find the Y in all those letters. I was born on the 20th of April 1991. Even though I was actually due on the 1st, I thought I'd pull a practical joke on my mum and decided I wasn't ready for my entrance. So I waited. Sorry, Mum. But it was also snowing on the 20th, so I'm glad I waited. My entrance was quite spectacular, needless to say. Now, apparently, according to my parents, social services nearly took me away when I was a baby because my parents one time left me on the roof of the car, I think for my christening. Don't worry, they didn't drive off. Somebody had warned them beforehand. Could you imagine if they had driven off? The second time was when one of them dropped me down the stairs. I don't know who, hence I've not, put either dad or mum on that picture. But that may explain a few things. Okay, the top's being cropped off here. I blame either my camera or this program. Anyway, in 1992, that saw the arrival of my little brother James. I'll tell you now, but when he was a toddler, he always thought me and him were in fact twins. And he always said that I pushed my way out first. Bless him. That year also saw us move from a small 2-bed cottage in a very quiet village up in the hills to a larger house in the same county, and it was also still very hilly, but it just allowed James to have his own bedroom. And actually we had a bigger garden, I seem to remember. I can remember I had a window that faced a quiet road actually in this house, because it was floor height. Dad put in some bars to stop me chucking my what seems to be a very oversized teddy out the window. I don't think my mum appreciated finding my teddies out on the road. God. My childhood was a happy one. As a family, we went on trips in the caravan to places in the UK. I can remember it always rained, especially when we went up to Beatrix Potter's house in the Lake District and everything. We would always take the dogs. But I can always remember James and I used to ride in our scooters around the park, and also collecting the water and having to empty out the toilets, like the toilet sewage thing for the caravan. It was quite disgusting. At home we used to cycle around the green, and we also used to play tennis, well, our version of tennis really, against our next door neighbour's house, which I don't think they minded that much, but they were lovely, really lovely people. And we also used to make mud pies for people, especially one person called Jack, who we used to call him like the Dennis and the Menace of the village. I don't think we ate them, but we used to take the cake cases from the kitchen, so I don't think Mum was too pleased with that one. While I was young, I used to enjoy going to ballet quite a lot. So I started, I can remember, in a very small class, and then I eventually went up to a bigger class. I love dancing, but unfortunately when I was 12 I had to stop. They didn't allow me to pass my grade because I had clicky knees, would you believe? So that was really disappointing. But it didn't stop me. I kind of did dancing for gang show when I was in guides for about 2 or 3 years. When I was around 6, I asked Dad for a rocking horse. I absolutely loved them, and I still do actually. But instead, he decided against it, and he said no. And his reason being, he was going to get me a real one instead. Thanks, Dad. So at that very young age, when I knew nothing about looking after animals, unfortunately Mum's horse Thomas had to take a back seat, and he got forgotten. Not in a horrible way, but we welcomed Cherry the pony, and she was an absolute madam. She hospitalised someone after she chucked them off, and that drawing was quite terrible of that horse. Primary school was okay. I can only vaguely remember. I was only there for up until year 4. I can remember growing sunflowers in reception to see how tall they could grow. We used to have competitions every time when we did it. And whenever the groundskeeper used to cut the grass, every playtime everyone, and I mean every single year, would gather the grass up and make a massive sofa or a massive maze. It was so much fun. And then the next morning they would ruin it and we'd all be really upset. But overall it was just your average school really. And it did have its setbacks. I wasn't reading properly and I was also getting bullied. I don't know why. But the girls used to really pick on me in the playground, and I kept it from my parents until one day I told them. And I don't think it helped that I used to have really long hair down to my waist, and then the next day I came in after having 12 inches cut off to like a really short bob, which I hated. And I think they used to call me like a boy or something, but yeah, when I told my parents, they then pulled us out of school. So in 1999 and 2000, that saw quite a few big changes for us and the family. We moved from our house in Rutland to a big house in Lincolnshire. So much for downsizing. But we are still here now. It's got a massive garden and a massive paddock, and yeah, it's a lovely house. But we all miss Rutland. It was also the year when James and I moved to a private school, which I'm very grateful for because my parents paid for the education. They really did go out of their way, and I honestly think I would be different if they hadn't have done that. I really enjoyed this school. I was in all different sports clubs. I did hockey, I did cookery, and I also did county kind of cross country. Oh god, how big is that netball? Yeah, much better. I also sang in the choir. We sang in the Peterborough Cathedral, and we used to sing every year at like the Christmas festivities and stuff. And because of my hard working class, I gained bursaries, which I helped lower the costs for my parents, which was good. Year 11 was the year my confidence really boosted, actually. I enjoyed languages so much, I wanted to pursue this as a career, and at the same time I loved my art and proved to my geography teacher that I could get a B even though he said I wouldn't. And I was also made head girl, which I loved, and I had to do a really scary speech in front of loads of parents, and I hated that one, but I did it. So after being in a really small private school, I then moved to a very large state school for sixth form. Although it was quite a big move, I took this opportunity to become more outspoken, and again, it helped me boost my confidence. And I think I am who I am because of this move. Thankfully, my next door neighbour, Alex and Michael, went to the sixth form with me, and I met some lovely people. Unfortunately, I don't speak to them much, and it's a big shame because we had some great times. I did meet loads of other people, but I just could only remember these two. Fit them in really in the board. And Rosie's actually a police officer now, I reckon. It was also the year I met Nick, who to this day is still my best friend, and I don't know what I would do without him. He knows too much about me, which is quite scary. However, in my first year I failed. I saw my friends go off to university, and Alex and Michael moved to Tasmania, which was quite upsetting. Even though we still talk, and I have promised 1 or 2 times that I will travel over there to see them, but I felt like I had really let people down because I'd failed my course, and I was quite depressed, I think, that year. However, I did buck up my ideas. I chose to retake that year, even though it put me back. I sought my English for media studies, and I carried on my other choices, even though I absolutely hated biology. So I have no idea why I chose that. And despite getting an A in media studies, I then decided it wasn't for me, and I left sixth form. It was also actually in that year that I felt different to the rest of the girls. Even though I felt comfortable in jeans and hoodies every time, I really did wish I had the confidence to wear skirts and dresses. But unfortunately, even though I've got kind of like a really good body, you know, I'm a size 6 to 8. I'm not bragging, but I just couldn't do it. And however, now I'm slowly changing, and I'm getting used to wearing dresses. After I left sixth form, I chose to study a hospitality course in a college in Loughborough. I've no idea why that looks like a church. I swear I didn't study in a church. Even though I drive 40 miles there and 40 miles back, my parents bought me a Nissan Micra car, which I called Millie, and she also had eyelashes, which were cool. People say no, but they were very, very cool, and I miss them. Because I don't have her anymore, she died. At the college, though, I did classes in cookery. I also learnt to work out front. There's me in my uniform. And again, it really did help me talk to people in the restaurant, because of the bullying I've encountered over the years. I think it made me shine in front of people. And I also met my second best friend, Charlotte, here also. In 2010, that saw a group from college in Italy. We worked there for a whole entire month. It was the best month ever. I really did enjoy it, actually. Really nice hot summer. I spent my 20th in Capri, away from my family, which was the first time. And Charlotte and I worked in a Michelin-star restaurant in Sorrento. We both missed that place, and I reckon we should really go back soon. But it was an amazing experience, and if you ever get the chance to go out and work, I would strongly take it. Really strongly take it. In that year, also saw me get a job in a pub in Stamford. After a few months there, I did work experience at their sister pub in Wiltshire. And when I came back, I was then moved to their other sister hotel back in Stamford, and this is where I work now. I help at the weddings, and all the staff I've met in all 3 places are absolutely fab, including Hannah and Chloe. And I've been with the company now for 3 years. It's a really lovely company to work for. I also work at a festival called Ecstatic, which is organised by my good friend Jimmy, who was on the same uni course as me. 2012 was its first year, and I was behind the bar just serving 1,000 people. But last year I was promoted to bar manager, and this year we're expecting 5,000 people, which is quite scary. And I'm not looking forward to it. In 2012, I finished my college course and stayed at Loughborough to do a university course. Also, again, in hospitality. I think by this time I decided that I wanted to be a hotel manager. I'd watched Gilmore Girls far too much, I reckon. And I actually watched that today. I do regret not going to a major university, but it's happened now. and even though I graduated this year with a high 2.2, I am now doing honours in events. 2013 was the year I decided to start a blog. I had started smaller blogs in the past, but this one was different, and Becky B blog was born. On the 23rd of April, to be exact, actually. And to this present date, I have 50 followers. It's a small number, but I'm very grateful, and hopefully it will grow. And I've met some great people, which I hope I'll meet one day. So at the moment, I still live with my dad. God, the drawings are getting worse. My mum. And my brother. No, he should be taller. He's like 6 foot something now. It's ridiculous. I'm only 5'4". There you go. And we also have a very big collection of animals. We've got 2 dogs. We also have 3 cats, which I'm actually having trouble drawing them for some bizarre reason. They don't look like cats. I also have my hamster, Bramble, which you probably might see in my blog posts. And we still have Thomas the horse, who is now 34 years old. I really cannot draw to save my life. Oh, and we've also got some ducks and chickens. So, a big thank you for watching this video. And it's also my first video, would you believe? And yep, I made that Y up. But also big thank you to everybody who reads and hopefully watches this video. My blog was my secret, but I'm enjoying telling everyone now, and I love you all for following me. Gosh, I really do apologise about my drawing now, but you can find me on the following sites. So I have my Twitter account, Becky_Brown91. And I also have an Instagram, which is the same as above. Much easier to find me. And finally, I also have my blog, which has most of my content on, which is beckybrown91.blogspot.co.uk. And that's where you'll be able to find my video as well. Hopefully this will be the first of many videos. I've starting to really like the idea of vlogging. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up. It would be lovely if you did. Thanks for watching. Bye!